is William K. Murtaugh, Mert Witness 1, and today we are going to talk about the death of the King of Stupid. And no, believe it or not, it is not about Rush Limbaugh, who is another King of Stupid. Well, worse than that, Rush Limbaugh was the king of bigotry. But we're not here to talk about Rush Limbaugh, we're here to talk about the King of Stupid. And that stupid is Timmy Hoffa. Now, Timmy Hoffa may be dead in two different ways. Now, people first tuning in to this live stream mobile-thon, and maybe tuning into it thinking that I'm confirming that he's dead or there's some other indication. But that's not the case, because there's a different kind of dead. But let's cover the first dead first. I still believe that it is more than likely that Timmy Hoffa is dead and that foul play is involved. The problem is there's no proof of that, just like there's no proof that he's alive either. It's pure speculation, strong belief based on the evidence. It's kind of like when you charge somebody with murder but there's no body. If you can prove beyond a reasonable doubt that that person is guilty of murder without a body, then they're guilty without a murder. There's people who get thrown off boats every day, not every day, but they get thrown off of boats, and people are found guilty for killing them. But Timmy Hoffa's dead in a different way. Now, it has been 2 weeks since his blog had any entries. Now, that alone is not proof that Timmy Hoffa is dead on the internet in a practical sense, simply because his blog has basically been shut down for 2 weeks. But it does indicate that something is going on. Now, the Timmy Hoffa channel, if you could call it that, is still active. The Big Shoot channel has somebody operating it, but it's not Timmy Hoffa. It's clearly Randy operating the channel. Now, she can deny it because she's blue in the face, which she already is, but the fact of the matter is Randy is behind everything that's going on. She's the queen of stupid. It parallels her Facebook page, which is the only thing close to a mainstream page she's got, because she's hiding her affiliation with QAnon. Because she's ashamed to be affiliated with QAnon, so all mentions of QAnon are off her channel. You don't see the little jigsaw puzzles from QAnon anymore. All you see is Lynwood and some of these wacky conspiracy theories that are connected to QAnon, and also defaming a first responder. And now it seems she's cuddling up to pedophiles and sex offenders. I never thought I'd see that. But apparently that's what's going on, because she is praising the efforts of a confessed pedophile in connection with one of her wacky conspiracy theories in an organization known as the Finders. Now, everybody knows what the Finders is. I've been following the activities of this outfit, because they're another organization that deserved to cease to exist. And she just decided that she's going to connect people with the Finders that have nothing to do with it, including a guy that's been dead for over a decade. The guy's dead, so he can't defend himself. And so Randy's going to take advantage of it. But at this point, I don't care. She can go on with this stuff forever. She's never going to stop. It's like I said yesterday, she's not going to stop. She doesn't know the truth. I have asked her I have told her to do two things and she has done them, not done them. She has yet to do a proof of life of Timmy Hopper. She simply ignores my counter arguments and she buries the lead. And she buries the leads with all these whack job conspiracy theories, but that's fine. But now let's go back to the King is Stupid and what used to be his blog. Now, there was a comparative analysis done of the blog whose name bears that of the King is Stupid. And we found out something rather interesting. Now, you see, Timmy Hopper had an original blog, and he refers to it in the header of his primary blog. And including this is a bit of a mistake because it allows you to do comparative analysis of the two blogs. And the one thing you'll notice between the two of them, especially in the early versions of the blog, is there is a stark difference in the writing style and in the format of the blog itself. The original blog is rather bland. It's a straightforward blog. And yet you go over to the current blog and it's a lot different. And plus, there's an integration between the blog and the BitChute channel. This is something that was never done on his original blog. You didn't have the connection to the two different websites. You didn't have the kind of features that you see on the new blog. They're completely different in style, format, and everything, is that they were done by two different people. And others, both in the journalism field and in the area of forensic linguistics, told me that. They said, this is two different people. There's all kinds of differences. If you do the 15-point analysis of both websites, there are stark differences. And if you match up the writing style of the current blog to someone who does a lot of writing on her own, there's a lot of similarity in verbiage, pronunciation, format, so on and so forth. So it's pretty clear who's been writing the new blog, for the most part. And so that's probably the reason it's been shut down, or at least put on pause, because she's beginning to realize that people understand who it is that's writing on that blog. And it is not Tim Hopper. Somebody else. Because Timmy Hopper, is dead. I almost gave something away there, but that's for another day. You just got yourself an unintended clue. But what is happening here is another fraud. It doesn't matter. It's not much of a fraud. Somebody's got a ghostwriter. It's pretty common, actually, for people to have ghostwriters. And that's what we have in the case of this little blog. So, the King of Stupid is dead in this manner. He only has a couple sites. He's on BitChute, that's being run by somebody else. He's there in name only. He's in the dark web, again, somebody else using his name. And he's on Parler, or was. May wind up going back over there again now that they're open back up again. And these are the kind of places these people are at. Which means they have basically put themselves in isolation. They're not on Twitter. They're not on YouTube. And only one is on it. You know, you got a scattering of them on Facebook hiding their connections to QAnon because they don't want to get thrown off of Facebook. And so it's a self-imposed violation. They've hidden themselves in their collective basements. They are in the basement of the internet. And they get out every once in a while and they throw around their wacky theories and they basically preach to the choir. And they're not expanding their base. Their base is actually receding. So this self-imposed exile that these people are in is the death of a collected stupid. Now, as time goes on and things start happening that the QAnons say are not going to happen, it's going to sink into an ever-increasing number of people that they've been played. That they've been part of one huge, tremendous joke. And if the original Q makes good on a threat he made a while back that everybody seems to have missed, and comes out with the truth about what QAnon is, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be pissed off. Because they're going to find out from Q itself that this is all a fantastic hoax. It was an accident, you know, they did it for the lulz. Because this is what a chun does. They do things for the lulz. And they're making a shitload of money from it. People don't realize that all the money being made on the backs of these idiotic theories are being made by the creators of this nonsense. And QAnon is nothing more than a money machine because they know there's a bunch of people out there who are stupid enough to fall for this crap. You know, the people that created QAnon are experts in market analysis. They understand that there is a market for stupid out there. Rush Limbaugh realized this. That's why he was so successful. He tapped into a vast repository of bigotry and hate. And out of it came the conservatives and so on. And the biggest hater of all, which is Donald Trump, former president. All you Trump lovers, you can stick it up your ass as far as I'm concerned, but that's the truth. You may not want to believe it, but it's the truth. But within that cesspool of hate is this QAnon group. And they have basically demolished the Republican Party. We are probably going to have a splintering. We may still have the Republicans and the Democrats, but we're going to have a very large independent party. And you're going to have the QAnons and the independents. You're going to have the moderates and the independents. You're going to have all kinds of people in this melting pot of independence. And they're going to splinter both sides. And we're going to be more like Europe, where you're going to have 10 different types of representatives in Congress. You're not going to have just Democrats and Republicans with maybe one or two independents. You're going to have probably a third of Congress made up of independents. And then this is going to make it that much harder for Democrats and Republicans to do what they want to do. Because there's going to have to be a lot of coalitions. There's going to have to be a lot of wheeling and dealing between the parties to get things done. And it's going to be less predictable. And this is going to drive the big donor, the big money donors nuts, because they're not going to know who to donate to. Because there's going to be people in all directions. That's probably the way it should be. It probably should be that we have fewer of these primary party affiliations, and we don't have Democrats or we don't have Republicans. We have a boatload of independents who will have the numbers at some point in the future to steer things in the direction they want. The Republicans aren't going to be able to get everything they want, and neither are the Democrats. There's going to have to be a lot of compromises. Now, this happens in Europe and in other parts of the world. You don't have a two-party system. There's places where you have multiple parties, and it's the makeup of the legislative bodies that decides what direction the country's going to go. Because there's all kind of coalitions and so on that are formed in these various governments. In the United States, for some reason, just decided we're not going to do that. We're going to have a two-party system, and that's the end of it. And that's been a tremendously big mistake. And so that's what's going on here. You got a two-party system that's going to go away. And you're going to have multiple parties. That's this is my political statement for the day. Now, let me bring up the Murdathon and this business with my moderators. Now, Randy is under the mistaken impression, because she's downright stupid and she does not have a clear understanding of the English language. It's probably why we got in this mess in the first place, is because Randy knows absolutely positively nothing about the English language. I did not kick the falsely accused moderator off my chat. I eliminated the chat. So Randy, listen carefully. Listen very, very carefully. I'm going to do like what Kirk Pendergrass does, and I'm going to say it in a way that you just might get it through that thick skull full of rocks you got. I did not throw anyone off the moderator status on my chat. I shut down the chat. Now, I hope I said this in a way, Randy, that you understand it. Because of you and your fellow domestic terrorists cannot take no for an answer, I shut the chat down. There will be a Murdathon, but I will not be using YouTube chat. I'm going to disable the feature. The only way people are going to be able to communicate with me live during a Murdathon is on Twitter. And of course, people can always comment, but the comments are going to be moderated. Strictly moderated. I will decide what comments get left and what comments do not get left, because I am not going to put up with the kind of disruptions on my live streams that have occurred since I started doing them on YouTube. So you managed to get my chat shut down. And that may be a bad move, because my numbers might actually start going up instead of down. They're already starting to recover a little bit. But the numbers, again, are not all that important, because subscriber numbers is what I'm talking about here. Because my chat, or my live stream, gets recorded. And so people can come back and watch it anytime it's convenient. There are people that don't come into my live stream because they're working or otherwise busy, but they watch it after it's produced. And the numbers show that. So it is getting a reach, and it's getting a reach to more than 18 people. So you've lost on that. I still have a reach. It may not be a tremendous reach, because the people that watch my live stream believe in the truth. The people that watch Randy's BitChute believe in lies. They don't care about the truth. They believe in weird, impossible conspiracy theories. They believe in the big lie. And they're going to continue to believe in the big lie. That's how these people are. They cannot stand the truth. But you got to remember one thing, Randy. I'm on YouTube. You're not. You got kicked off of YouTube so many times, I lost count. And it's the same with Twitter. You sat there and bragged that somebody's Twitter account got suspended. But how many Twitter accounts have you had that got suspended? I've lost count. There's no Twitter account with your name on Twitter. And there's only generic names on Twitter. Your actual name is not on Twitter. You're not allowed on Twitter. So how about them apples? And personally, I don't care if you're on Twitter or not, because you have a limited reach. I can block you just like everybody else can block you. We can filter your noise out. We don't have to listen to you. And this is what I've done with the chat. I said, screw it. I've had enough of this crap. I'm only getting 18 people on the chat, and 3 of them are the QAnon terrorist group. So just eliminate the chat. Same number of people are going to watch. I'll probably get more people, because now it'll be better organized, and they won't have to filter through a bunch of crap to find out what the hell it is I'm talking about. And they can judge my comment, and they can judge better by the content I put up. If they don't like it, that's fine. They can unsubscribe or not subscribe or what have you. You know, eventually I'm going to get back on track on the channel. Now, another thing I've noticed, which surprised me because I've been getting a lot of offline feedback about this, is actually, I have actually 2 different audiences. I have audiences that are interested in what is going on with the domestic terrorists and with the trials that are coming up with Field McConnell, Cynthia Abzug, and Neely Blanchard, which is, all this stuff is probably going to start in March and continue on from there. But they're not interested in science and technology and talking about missions to Mars and things like that, which is what I fully intended to be talking about today. Because as of the time that this recording is made, we are 24 hours from landing on Mars again. And there's all kinds of people over there, and we have half the world over there right now. The Arabs are circling Mars. China's up there, going to put a lander down. So we got all kinds, we're getting a veritable traffic jam up there. But the problem is the majority of the people on my primary channel are not interested in science and technology. Not in the numbers that I need to sustain the channel. And on the other side of the coin, there are people that are interested in science and technology and know my background that don't want to hear about the soap opera with these QAnon crazies. They don't like QAnon. They don't want to even hear about QAnon. And they've been begging me. I've got hundreds of emails asking me to quit talking about the QAnons. And if I do, these people will subscribe to my channel. So I told them, I made a mass announcement, because these people are part of a regular group that I have, that I am going to be reopening my other channel. soon as I get the time to do it, I am going to be putting my other channel back on. And it is a science and technology channel. It is all about science. And all different kinds of things. It's going to be guy stuff. You know, what we call the man cave stuff. I'm going to talk about my cameras, going to talk about all kinds of things. Going to be doing, you know, and it's another reason I'm going to need to live stream on YouTube, but if I can't, I'm just going to record. Put everything up as, you know, real-time recording. A lot of people on YouTube do that. They do real-time recording, put the stuff up on YouTube, and they get big audiences. And so I'm going to do the same damn thing. My own version of it. So there's going to be that. Got interrupted with a very interesting phone call. Anyway, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to have a separate science channel and a separate true crime channel and general discussion channel. So there's going to be two different channels. This way I can split the groups in two different directions, keep everybody away from each other, satisfy my friends at the Concerned Scientists, and my technology buff, and at the same time satisfy my people who want to discuss the Q crazies and all these conspiracy whack jobs, plus some of the criminal cases coming up that have to do with these people. So stay tuned for all of that. Hopefully things will improve. And I apologize for the way things have gone so far. Please like, subscribe, hit your notification buttons, and share, so that we can grow both of these channels once they come up. This is William K. Murtaugh, Witness 1. Have a good one.